Welcome to my new video. Our today's question is minimum number of people to teach. Okay, so on a social network consists of m users. So in total we have m users and some friendship between users. Okay, so two users can communicate with each other if they know common language. Okay, so there are n language numbered from m to n, 1 to n. Okay, like n is equal to 10. That means we have like 10 languages, and language of I denotes the language that ith users know. Like this language array denotes like first user know language 1, second user know only language 2, third user know language 1 and language 2. Okay, and there are so friendship of I denotes like friendship between you user, like user u to user v. Okay, and like these are like friendship array. Okay, so this is like user u. Okay, this is like friendship of one array, like friendship 1. So friendship 1 denotes like friendship between user u to user v, and they can communicate only when there is a common language. Okay, common language between them. You can choose one language and teach it to some users that all friends can communicate with each other, and return the minimum number of users you can teach. And also there is a note. Okay, so like if x is a friend of y and y is a friend of z, that doesn't guarantee that x is a friend of z. Okay, this is like transitivity property. Okay, so let's try to let's understand this question. Okay, in this, like our goal is to every friendship is satisfied. That means one can communicate with two, and one can communicate with three, two can communicate with three. Okay, so let's see, one can communicate with two, one knows the language one. Okay, and 2 knows the language 2, so there is no common language, so they can't communicate. Similarly for 2 and 3, like user 2 knows the language 2 and user 3 knows language 1 and 2, so they can communicate. The common language is 2. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this question. Okay, so there is like this is like second example in the lead code in the lead code question. Okay, so n is equal to 3. That means we have language 1, language 2, language 3. Okay, and this is like language array. Okay, so like user 1 or person 1 knows the language 2, user 2 knows the language 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. Okay, I am just writing this here so we can solve this question very optimally. Okay, like 3, I am just creating like a hash map of integer and set, and I am going to tell you why I am going to create this. Like user 3 person 3 knows the language 1 and language 2. Okay, and there is like user 4 knows the language 3. Okay, so now let's try to understand the question. Okay, so this is like first friendship. Okay, like first friendship 1 and 4, can they communicate with each other? Let's see. Like person 1, user 1 knows the second, like 2 language 2, like you, and user 4 knows the language 3, so they can't communicate because they don't have share any common language. So they're like we can create one unsatisfied users. Okay, so unsatisfied users are 1 and 4. Okay, so we need to teach them a language that is common so they can communicate. Okay, now let's move on to the next language. Let's friendship 1 and 2, can 1 and 2 communicate? One knows the language 1 and 2 knows the language 1 and 3. So okay, so there is a one common language. So okay, so the okay, sorry, like he knows the language 2. Okay, so this is like a language 2, so there is no common language. Okay, in between them, so they are also unsatisfied users. So like when we already insert in our unsatisfied user, so second person 2, user 2 is also unsatisfied user. Okay, now let's move on to the next friendship. Okay, next friendship is 3 comma 4. Okay, 3 comma 4, so 3 knows language 1 and 2, 4 knows language 3, so also there is no common language between them, so they are also unsatisfied users. So 3 and 4. Okay, like 4 we already inserted. Okay, now for next friendship, next friendship is 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, so like 2 and 3, so 2 knows language 1 and 3, 3 knows language 1 and 2, so there is a common language which is 1, so they can communicate with each other. Okay, so they are satisfied users. Okay, so this is the array of set, like this is like whatever you can say, this is the, these are the unsatisfied users. Okay, and in question they say you can choose only one language. Okay, you can choose one language, and like let me show you. Okay, so they say you can choose one language and teach it to some users. Okay, so what we are gonna do for now, we can choose like we have like n languages. Okay, so n is equal to 3, so we can choose like from 1 to 3. We can choose like from, we can just try to choose, let's try to choose first language. Okay, so now let's see how many people we need to teach if we choose first language. Okay, so first language, the user one, okay, user one doesn't know the first language, so we need to teach. Okay, we can count here. Okay, count, this is the person, like number of person we need to teach language one. Okay, so we need to teach language one, so we can write here language one. Okay, now for 4, okay, 4 doesn't know the language 4. Okay, sorry, language one, so we have to write also language one, and we have to increase our count to 2. Okay, now 2 know 2. Okay, so 2 knows the language 1 and 3, so 2 already know language 1, and for 3 already know the language 1, so 2. So 2 is the answer. So brute force is very simple. We can try it every possible language, and we are checking if this language is known by how many people, and if it doesn't know, so we have to teach and increase the count. These are the number of people we need to teach. Okay, so this is our approach. Let me explain you the code, and also I tell you that like this is like a hash set. Okay, takes single minute. Okay, this is like hash map of integer and set. Okay, this is like an integer and this is set. Why? When we are trying every possible values, okay, like every possible language one, so we need to check if person one knows the language one or not. So we get this set and we can simply check if like this set dot contains language one or not. Okay, so for that we need to take care of 3. Okay, and also when we are creating this unsatisfied users, so we have to check if 2 and 3 are they can communicate or not, 3 and 4 are can communicate or not. For that also we need this set. Okay, let me explain you in the code. Okay, so this is the code part. Okay, so m, total number of users, these are the total number of users. Okay, and I am going to create hash map of integer and set, and like this is like this is okay, the language array is like 0 base index. Okay, this is like array is 0 base index. Okay, so I have a like, so interruption. Okay, so okay, like language array is like one, this is like 0 base indexing, but we have to follow one base indexing. Like they are given, this is like first person, this is second person. So when we are traversing on our users, so person is I plus 1. Okay, so we just simply create map with person and new hash set, and then we are inserting all the languages which are known by the person. Okay, person user 1, user 2. Okay, simply. Okay, then we need, this is like unsatisfied users set. Okay, this is like set of unsatisfied users. Okay, like this is set of unsatisfied users, you can say. Okay, and we are simply traversing on our friendship array, and this is like set of like this f of 0 means you. Okay, like friendship, f of 0 is you, and we simply need to check if these are like two sets. Like set 1 contains the all languages that are known by user u, and set 2 contains all languages that are known by user v. Okay, and this is like boolean talk false means they can't talk. We are assuming that they, the user one, like user u and we can't talk. Okay, and we just simply need to check if any language that is known by user one, if it is present in user 2, if it is known by user 2, then we simply need to take it like true. Okay, they can talk. Okay, so we are traversing on set 1, that means every language, if any of one language is known by user 2. Okay, set 2, that means any one language is known by set user 2, that means talk is true, they can talk. Okay, and if doing that, if talk is false, that means they can't talk. So we are just simply adding in unsatisfied user array. This is like need to teach, you can say need to teach array also. Okay, this is like unsatisfied user array, so we are adding that. Okay, both the users. Okay, because they both can't talk. Okay, and then we have to minimize our answer, so we initialize our answer to the max value. Then we are trying out every language. we can choose one language. Okay, so we are trying out every language, and then we are checking out. Okay, we are like person, these are like users need to teach array, like if this, if like we have to check for every person if one first the language L is known by them. Okay, so we are just taking the set and we have to check if this set contains language L. If it doesn't contain, that means we have to teach him, so we have to increase the count. Okay, so the count is number of people to teach. Okay, to teach. Okay, so we are simply count the, and when we count we get the number of people who don't know that language, so we have to teach him and taking the minimum of all them. Okay, we are trying out every possible language and taking minimum of them, and at the end we are returning our answer. Okay, now let's try to run it. Yeah, it is running. Let's try to submit it. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. After that I am going to teach you optimal way. Okay, now let's see how we can solve this question optimally. Okay, there is only one simple observation. Now let's see how we can solve this question optimally. Okay, so 1 second, let me clean it. Okay, so now let's see, this is like our unsatisfied user array, right? This is our unsatisfied user array, right? Now let's see what we can do. We can let me give one example. Okay, one example. Okay, so let me erase everything. No, okay, so okay, this is like our unsatisfied user array, unsatisfied user array, sorry, unsatisfied user array, right? So what we can do, we can just simply pair. Okay, it's like we can say this is user 1, this is user 2, this is user 3, and this is user 4. Okay, and we can pair like user 1 with user 2. Okay, user 1 with user 3, user 1 with user 4, and user 1 with user. Okay, let's see this, these are like three examples. Okay, there is no last one example. Okay, so these are the four examples. Okay, these are three friendships. Okay, and okay, now let me tell you some like thing. Okay, if like user 1 only know French. Okay, he know French, only know the French. Okay, language 1. Okay, and user 1, and by other user 2, user 3, and user 4, everyone know English. Okay, okay, so let's see, user 1 know French and user 2 know English, so they are unsatisfied. Okay, so we add 1 and 4. Okay, these are like user. Okay, so user 1 and user 3, French and English, so both are unsatisfied. French and English, so both are unsatisfied, so we are adding in into our unsatisfied array. Okay, unsatisfied set. So we have like two languages, French and English. If we choose to teach French language, okay, let's see, our n is equal to 2. Okay, in this example n is equal to 2. Okay, so we can choose our language, first language is French, so how many people we need to teach? So let's see, 1. So user 1 knows the French, so we don't need to teach. Okay, so we need to teach. Okay, so one already know French. Okay, 4 doesn't know French, 4 only know English, so 4, 2 and 3, user 1, 2, 3 and 4 doesn't know the French, so we need to teach all of them, so we need to teach 3 people. Okay, now let's see, if we decided to choose English to teach everyone. Okay, so okay, this is like this is for French. Okay, and this is for English. If we decided to choose English, okay, decided to teach English. Okay, so if we decided to do English, user 1 doesn't know English there, so we teach him English. So and other 3 user 2, 3 and 4, they already know the English, so what we need to do, we only need to teach only one person in French. Okay, and you can easily tell me out, like if user 1 know French and all of 3 people knows the English, so what is more efficient to like teaching 3 people French or on teaching only one people English, which is more efficient? Yeah, very simple question, very simple. Like teaching English to the people. Okay, like in world English is most popular language. Okay, and in this example also English is the most popular language. Okay, so three people know the English, if we just count, if we get the language which is the most popular, and then we can just simply subtract like how many count of okay, let me erase it, all of this, okay, all of this, okay. So the count of unsatisfied is unsatisfied user count minus the popular language which is used by, which is known by everyone, which is English. This is like 3. So our answer is 1, okay. So we just simply need to calculate our most popular language, and then unsatisfied users minus most popular language count. Okay, this count is 3. English count is 3, French count is 1. French is known by only one person, English is known by 3 person, okay. So we have to count the language which is most popular in this unsatisfied set, okay. So after that we just simply need to write like unsatisfied users minus English, okay, English like most popular language, and then 1, okay. Very simple, guys. If 3 people know the English, then we just need to teach only one person which is no doesn't know English, okay. Now let's code it. So after that we need to count, okay. So we can, for storing the count, we can simply create a what hash set, but instead of hash set, what we can create, frequency array, frequency of users, okay. How many users we have, like users are languages are n, okay. So sorry, these are the count of language. So we can create language of, okay, n plus 1, because for we have to follow one base indexing, okay. Then very simple, after that we have to count the count simply. So we can, what we can do, 1 second only. So I wrote the code. So this is like, this is the code. So this is the frequency of which is the popular language, okay. So we have to calculate which language is popular. So we, this is like unsatisfied user, we have to track one, go an unsatisfied user, and this is the hash set of every person, the languages which are known, okay. And we just simply need to plus plus that language count, the language which is known by how many persons, okay. And this is like popular languages, maximum of popular language, and frequency of language, okay. So at the end, this is like unsatisfied users, how many users, this is like unsatisfied users minus popular language count, this is like popular language count, okay. Let's try to run it, let's try to submit it. If you understand the video, then please like, share and subscribe, and if you have any doubt, then please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching.